Recently, I uploaded the quote final part of my top 100 most wanted death battle matchups. At the end of the final part, I decided that I would dedicate a separate video to my most wanted matchup of all time. Why? Because 1, it gives me more ad revenue and I like money, and 2, this matchup holds a lot of sentimental value to me. Those of you who have been with this channel a while already know exactly what matchup it is, but won't know the reason as to why I want it so badly, and what I want out of it. Those watching within a day of this upload won't know what it is. Those of you watching afterwards will have been spoiled by the thumbnail and title, as I will change it after a day. So, with that being said, my number 1 most wanted versus and death battle matchup of all time is Shao Kahn versus Gargos. As I said before, those of you who have been with this channel a while knew exactly what was coming here. Literally just check my channel banner. Those of you who don't, let me explain why I want this so badly before going into why it's worth your attention. Please stick with this. So first of all, what do these characters mean to me? Shao Kahn is possibly my favorite fictional character of all time, from my favorite fictional franchise. I mean, check my profile icon. As a boy, playing the old MK games and MK9 alongside my brother and friends, I always thought Shao was cool. I loved basically every one of his designs, but aesthetics aside, and writing issues in the modern games aside, I always found his lore super intriguing. The big bad realm conqueror that no matter how many times you stop him, he always has a backup in store. Of course, the modern games have soiled this idea a bit, but I still think modern Shao's writing, especially in MK1, is still solid overall. Just something about this intimidating warlord who stepped on shit regardless of the risks was always inspiring to me, especially as a bully victim. So it created a ton of fun memories, and not to mention, he's so much fun in every game he's in. I'll spare the details for another video. As for Gargos, I love all the Killer Instinct games, not as much as MK, but enough to rank it among my favorite gaming franchises. Again, I have fond memories of playing them with my brother and friends, with Gargos being my main in 2 and 3. I still hop on KI3 now and again too. Generally one of the best fighting games ever made. So ever since I was around 8, I've wanted to see these 2 Dimension Conquerors go at it. And with my introduction to Death Battle a decade or so ago, timing couldn't have been more perfect. So I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And yeah, it's never happening, is it? I get it, Bison and Akuma were much worse and much more requested. But even back in Season 8, I already knew Akuma vs Shao's popularity had fallen off in favour of Akuma vs Rao, though I never really understood why that matchup was chosen. Let's get to the real meat of this video. So, for those of you unaware, the connections between these two is that both are the horned main villains from classic rival fighting game franchises based around tournaments and killing your opponents. Both are realm conquerors, who will happily manipulate others and revive other beloved characters from the dead to do so. They both are rivals to warrior monks, traumatizing them in specific ways, with Kahn killing Kung Lao, and Jago being manipulated for years by the Tiger Spirit, revealing himself to be Gargos all along. They both have people tasked with preparing the air for their arrival, Shang Tsung and Omen. They both run their own tournaments. They both gain power by slaying other beings in their realm, being Onaga and the Astral beings. The doors to Earth from both of their realms are opened via them brainwashing another fighter, Sindel and Kamra. They're both demigods depending on Shao's incarnation. They both rule their dimensions with an iron fist, seeking to conquer all others. They are both defeated by a warrior monk. They can both create portals and steal the souls of others, as well as summon minions mid-battle to assist or buff themselves. So yeah, easily the most thematic for both. Zeus and Onaga be damned. So the big question, why would you want Shao Kahn back a 3rd time? Well, for one, there's a new game and new movies that are releasing, with Shao being the main villain of the upcoming live action sequel. so plenty of new abilities and scaling to draw from, such as a battle axe and possibly even Shinnok's amulet. His last 2 episodes didn't include a lot of his abilities as well, such as blood magic or his cloning artifact. Speaking of, those focus more on the warrior aspect of Kahn, his most surface level trait. Shao is a tyrant, an egotistical warlord, and a realm conqueror, so for a 3rd and final episode, you have to explore those aspects of him. The crew failed to show off Shao's ego by refusing to make an audience for Akuma Kahn. I will save my rant on that episode for a future season 8 ranking. And that leads to the setup of the fight. Picture this. We see Gargos looking at a portal of the earth from the astral plane, scheming his next invasion, but Shao comes marching through, possibly with a few minions, declaring the astral plane as his own. It's a simple start, but again, we need to show off the realm conqueror side of Shao here. You have your usual "I'm going to murder you" banter before both send a small wave of minions at the other. Think Ultron vs Sigma. The dynamic here is very interesting. For those unenlightened, Gargos' playstyle involves a methodical approach to combat, keeping his foes at range with punching through portals and using his ginormous wings, dragging others through portals to send them away. So, let's use that to this matchup's advantage. This forces Shao to use his brain, something Akuma Kahn did not show off at all, meaning he has to either play the distance game by shooting fireballs, using telekinesis, or using blood magic, or even uses portals to get the jump on Gargos from above, whilst his minions take him from the front. It's such a cool dynamic. I like the idea of Kahn's army getting defeated by Gargos's, meaning he's overwhelmed. Picture this, have you guys ever seen that one Overwatch cinematic with Reinhardt and his mentor? You know the end scene where he has to fight off a bunch of Omnics with 2 hammers? Think of that, but with Shao's hammer and his battle axe at the same time, slaughtering Gargos' army before attempting to take a chunk out of Gargos himself. But Gargos transforms into his instinct mode, granting him armor. The next main idea I have involves both of their portals, since both can use them for combat and inter-realm travel. So let's use it to our advantage. Gargos command grab Shao after this, dragging Shao into the air through a portal, both punching each other as they go through different areas. Think of that one scene from Harley vs Jinx. You can have them go through the desert from Akuma Kahn, Shao's Coliseum, M. Bison stage, or even Bill Cord's arena if you feel like it. They both end up back in the astral plane after this, exhausted. Shao asks Gargos if that's his best, with Gargos retaliating with "no. This is," performing his command grab into his soul steel on Shao, before he starts to feel something happening within his body. Blood bending. Yeah, for some reason they completely ignored Shao's blood magic in Season 8. Like yeah, he's never used it in gameplay, because other characters already do, but you can't just ignore it. Anyways, Gargos lets Shao go, and he drags Gargos towards him, rips off both his wings, turns him around, and creates a portal with a giant view of the earth, laughing and complimenting Gargos on a valiant effort. But in the end, all will feel the wrath of Shao Kahn, before he uses his claws to slice through Gargos' eyeballs, ending the fight on a shot of Shao gazing upon the earth. So yeah, sounds pretty fucking awesome, right? Akuma vs Shao and Bison vs Shao both wasted him so badly. I am not going to let the popular members of the community convince me that Shao shouldn't get a final episode. And yes, I think Shao wins via universal MK scaling, but that's just me. Again, see my video on Shao Kahn's pile scaling if you want my verdict. If you like this idea now, please go request it in the official request form. Make a thumbnail, a trailer, share it on Reddit. It would mean the world to me. So with that being said, please share your most wanted in the comments below. Thank you for watching, stay safe, and as always, be excellent to each other.